Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi, we are from Group 6. In today's video, we are going to present to you about awareness of inflation among students in UiTM Machang. Our group members consist of Muhamad Afdal Zuhairi bin Awang at Ashaari, Sofiyyatun Farhana binti Shamsul Kamal, Muhammad Aqil Adly bin Muhammad Suli Asdy, Nurin Nabeela binti Suhardi, and lastly is me, Fatin Nooraliya binti Abdullah.
Inflation is a fundamental economic phenomenon that impacts the daily lives and financial well-being of individuals and households. It represents the sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services over time, resulting in a decrease in the purchasing power of a currency. Inflation is a crucial economic indicator that affects the purchasing power and financial stability of individuals. Students often face a delicate balancing act between their academic responsibilities and managing their finances. Inflation, with its potential to erode purchasing power and affect the cost of education and living expenses, is a pertinent concern for these students. The purpose of this survey is to determine awareness level of inflation among students in UiTM Machang, regardless of gender, age, and faculty type. Furthermore, we want to spread awareness regarding inflation and its impacts on students financially within UiTM Machang. In our analysis, we were able to gain information using primary data, which is our questionnaire that we spread among students in UiTM Machang Kelantan, and also secondary data by referring to academic articles and journals from the online data. According to our findings, more than half of the respondents agree that inflation has affected them badly in their daily costs during study at UiTM Machang. To summarize, students in UiTM Machang are well aware about inflation that is happening in UiTM Machang, and their cost of study has increased that can affect them badly to the point they have to be frugal in order to save money to be able to survive while studying. Inflation has caused a situation where students cannot be fully focused on their studies due to financial challenges. Background of problems. The issue of inflation in Malaysia among students stems from several interconnected factors and challenges, contributing to a complex problem that affects their financial well-being and future prospects. Inflation also causes rising costs of education, limited income sources, unequal impact based on their socio-economic status, and psychological stress due to financial constraints that will put on students, making them unable to focus on their studies. The main goal of this survey is to learn students' understanding on inflation and impact on their lives. We can summarize the students' knowledge regarding the effects of inflation.
Thanks, Nurin. Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhamad Zuhairi bin Awang alias Ashaari. I will continue this presentation with the purpose of making this research. The main purpose of making this research is to determine the level of awareness among students about the concept of inflation, its causes and potential consequences of inflation. And next, we want to explore how students perceive inflation and its impact on their daily life, educational expenses, and future financial prospects. And the last one, to assess the extent to which inflation affects student cost of living, educational expenses, and their overall financial stability. Next, we will move on to the scope of our research. First, subject. We choose UiTM Machang student as our subject. The scope of this research is to perceive the awareness of UiTM Machang students about the concept, causes, and consequences of inflation. We are also researching about the consequences of inflation to UiTM Machang students. Next, to the respondents. We have prepared about 15 questions, questionnaire via Google Form. As of right now, we got a total of 43 respondents from UiTM Machang students. Through this questionnaire, we found that the respondents are 44.2% is male and the rest is female. Next, time taken to finish our research is almost 2 weeks, which is 10 days. starting from 25 October 2023 until 3 November 2023. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Hi, my name is Fatin Nooraliya, and I'm going to present to you about method of investigation. Next, let's move to the method of investigation, which stands for two types, that is primary data and secondary data. Primary data are the approach we employ to gather data, and we distribute the questionnaire via Google Form through social media such as WhatsApp and Telegram. The Google Form contains 50 questions, which stands for 4 demographic, and the other 11 related to the inflation awareness. From the results shown, the majority of the respondents are female whom are alerts about inflation around them, opposed to male. On the other hand, for the secondary data, we have undergone a workshop about learning database with the librarian of the UiTM Machang, who is exposed where we can find relevant references, and we apply the knowledge we gained and serve the database as our references, such as article and journal from the ML Insight, ProQuest dissertation thesis, Scopus, and Web of Science. Not only that, now we are able to use the internet effectively and efficiently this time to learn more about inflation and applied it in our report to enhance the quality. Moving on to the limitation. The first limitation we faced is time constraint. As you can see, we have a limited amount of time to finish this project, and we don't have time to conduct face-to-face interviews with the local in nearby areas of UiTM Machang. And instead, we collect the surveys only from the students inside the campus because this method is more effective and flexible with our hectic schedule as students. The second one is limited budget. We examine why we can collect the surveys face-to-face and away from the campus is because the distance makes it difficult and costly to travel to different locations, and the cost can vary depends on the factors such as accommodation, grad fees, and these expenses can quickly add up, especially when the surveys require multiple visits. The third one is lack of responders' cooperation. We verified that the reason the survey lack responses is maybe the respondents are not sufficiently encouraged or motivated to participate, maybe due to the limited customization choices inside the Google Forms. And the only way to stimulate the interest is by giving something in return of the cooperation, such as gift.
Now, I will share with you the enlightening finding from our recent survey on the impact of inflation on students at UiTM Machang. We will explore the key figures and reveal how this result provide a perspective into financial behavior and perception of our respondents. In our survey, we observed a predominant age group with 44.2% of respondents falling within the 20-year range. Notably, individuals aged 21 and above constitute a smaller portion, accounting for only 7% of the participants. Meanwhile, the survey received response from 14% of individuals aged 19. Equally noteworthy, we have a substantial 34.9% of individuals aged 18% who participate in the survey. Moving on to figure 2.0 reveals that the majority of the respondents are female, comprising 55.8%, while male respondents made up of 44.2%. From figure 3.0, we observe that the majority, 53.5%, are students from Faculty of Accountancy, followed by varied response from other faculties. By analyzing monthly expenditure pattern in figure 4.0, it shows a significant portion of students, 39.5%, allocate their budget in the range of RM101 to RM250. of the respondents considered inflation to be a long-term issue, while only 7% perceive it as a short-term concern. Figure 10 indicated that 60.5% of the respondents point to rise as the food item most significantly impacted by inflation, followed by eggs at 27.9%. For figure 11, highlights that 35.3% of the respondents have taken note of the price increase in category of foods, while a smaller portion, 4.7%, observed increase in the price of service. Figure 12 revealed that 37.9% of the respondents reported that inflation has affected their studies, while an additional 27.9% mentioned that it is slightly affected the academic. For figure 13, 39.5% of the respondents engaged in discussion about inflation occasionally or sometimes, while 60.3% always talk about it with their friends. A thorough analysis in figure 14 showcased that 74.4% of respondents have been proactive in taking specific measures to continue the impact of inflation on their personal finance. Figure 15 indicates that 65.1% of the respondents employ budgeting as their primary strategy to cope with increasing price, followed by 20.9% who resort to
Assalamualaikum. In conclusion, figure 2 and 3 indicates the majority of female respondents, while figure 4 shows the maximum respondent spend is about RM101 to RM250 in a month. Figure 5 shows that all respondents understand inflation, while figures 6 and 7 show the math results of students actively seeking a way to save money. Figure 8 shows the majority of respondents knew about the inflation from social media, while figure 9 shows the majority responses should they view inflation as having a long-term effect. Figure 10 and 11 shows that the majority agree they realize food are mostly affected by inflation, while figure 12 shows that students varying perceptions of how inflation affects their studies. Figure 13 highlights the varying degrees of the discussion about inflation among students, while figure 14 and 15 highlights the same things. The survey demonstrates that students at UiTM Machang are actively engaged with inflation issues that are occurring lately. They are also adopted various strategies to cope with its effect and consequences. Besides, they also be reflecting on financial awareness and adaptability of economic challenges they soon face in the future. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhamad Aqil Adly and I am from group 6. So, based on the research that we conduct, which is awareness of inflation among students, we conclude that students, when buying items, they should buy things that are within their budget. As with inflation, the items that they usually buy might have an increase in price, even so slightly. If the students buy following their wants and not some necessity items, they tend to lose track of their budget and actually spend more than needed. Next, students also should be aware of the current price of products, as the market value for them usually changes before they realize it. They should check the price by using trustable sources such as newspaper, verified websites, magazines, and also hear word of mouth from other people, but not trusting them 100%, as there are also truth and lies in their words. With this, students can know the current economic flows. Other than that, in order to overcome the lack of money from inflation, students should use strategies to cope with the rising price. Some actually may be fine with budgeting their own money and saving them, but for the long term, students should start investing, as it might bring them fortune in the near future. As for the others, they might as well find a part-time job that are suitable for them, such as part-time worker at clerk or something, as they are students and their time are limited. Lastly, students should ask some advice from more experienced people or older people, as they already had their fair share amount of experience about the price changes during their youth and old. Follow their steps to ensure success and avoid the mistake that they made in the past to ensure easiness in the near future.